Geoff, we've lost 4-3 at Croydon. Doesn't tell the whole story, the classic game of two halves. 4-0 down at half time, and a lot of it was a painful watch in that half. Um, but it was also a very sort of makeshift team with players playing in different positions and a lot of people not available. So maybe if we start with the selection.
Yeah, it's a mixture really of availability in terms of injuries, suspensions, people being away. We're still relatively wedding season, and so we had a few away, but you would like to think, as again, we set up with a game plan in terms of trying to be nice and compact for the first sort of 20 minutes. They're away from home, they're top of the league, haven't conceded in 4 games, so you obviously got to pay them that relative respect. But also, we know where our weapons are, where we can hurt teams. So if you concede in the first minute, the game plan goes to shot. They're on the ascendancy, you know what I mean? And we just couldn't really get it back. The disappointing thing, obviously, if you conceded from set pieces, I mean, again, it looked a bit contentious from our hands. It looked like Jack had it, kicked it out his hands, So then you're asking for a bit of protection from the ref. But in general, they well deserved the league. They applied themselves better. They won their duels because regardless of, as I tell the players, regardless of what formation we set you up or the tactics, if you're not going to be better than the opposition or better than the player you play against, you're going to lose. So we didn't win enough duels. Not enough work rate first half, and we came in 4-0. Was it a 4-0 game? Maybe not, but they've taken a chance. It's two penalties as well. You know what I mean? So it's about being awake and being alive. And these are the big games I often tell you that can be this season defining, because coming away to Croydon, you get a victory. All of a sudden, you're competing at the top. All of a sudden, there's less pressure on the next 2 games because obviously we got our targets. We want to finish in the playoff positions at least. But when you drop points against sort of teams in and around you, it makes it difficult because then you have to beat the mid-table teams, and vice versa. So, we've got them in at half time. Listen, we couldn't roll up them, because it's not good enough. We've got away fans traveling as far. You've got to at least put some work rate in. You have got to compete. So got them in at half time, and we just said, look, win the second half. We've got game Tuesday, win the second half, get the first goal. You just never know what can happen, and we nearly brought it back at the end.
Okay, so a couple of goals. The other goals that weren't penalties came from corners as well. Is that a worry? Or
Well, it's a disappointing thing. I did discuss it before in terms of really seem a little bit weak from corners this season, and again, I think we've got maybe excessive in terms of our setup because this league, more than the third line, seems to be a lot of revolving around set pieces, and obviously putting it a lot in and around our area, and you're not going to get maybe the same protection you would get maybe in a third line where where they'll protect Jack. So I think we've got to look at it, as you say, because we can't be conceding from set pieces, because games, they're won and lost in set pieces, and we've conceded 2 today, which is very disappointing. So it's something we've got to assess really quickly, and look at, because I think we're getting better at attacking them, but again, defensively we're getting worse. You understand? So, and it's not usually us. Usually we're quite sound from set pieces. So yeah, it's disappointing. And the same way with the penalties, really. It's gone over sort of like the defender's head. Jack's been left in no man's land. He has to come out. And again, he's bought it really. He's knocked it around. He's kicked it off, run into the keeper. Yeah. Has no chance. But like I said, we changed a few things second half. We thought we needed a bit of a focal point up top, because I think once we beat their press, we thought we could get and attack them. Because you remember Noah had an early chance as well.
Yeah.
Which
the one that went over the angle.
Yeah, if he puts that over the keeper, what I mean? Again, it probably changes the game. And then Tammy coming at the back, just adding a little bit of composure. He was outstanding second half. Real superstar performance. Because it just stayed with us at the back. We had a bit of composure now, so we can play a little bit. Because with these sort of games, you need players who are brave.
Yeah,
you need players that are brave, and that's the same with Sully as well. He comes on, he's fearless. He wants to get on the ball, make things happen, and you can rely on these players when the going gets tough. So
debate at half time on the sort of sideline was like, can we get Cameron on? But also, is it worth putting Cameron on because he's coming back from injury? We've got a match on Tuesday night. Those things is like, do you change things because you're 4-0 down, or do you just think we've lost this, let's move on to Tuesday?
And that's the conundrum, isn't it? Because we all know how good Cameron is, and he usually is pushing for a starting spot, but we've been burnt before this season, as you know, players coming on, starting games, coming off in the first sort of 10-15 minutes and stuff, and risking them. So we've got to look at the bigger picture in terms of so many games to come. We want to get the best out of him, Sam as well, Adam, these players who have long injury records. We want to we want to ease them in. Joel as well could have played today, but then we're rushing him with a game on Tuesday, a game on Saturday. So we've got to really manage, the players and over a longer period, so that we can get the best out of them. So we're reshuffling the pack, and I did say, look, after 10 games, we'll sort of know where we are in terms of squad wise, in terms of with the new players, incorporate them in. Are they good enough to push us onto the next level? Because that's the truth. That's the reality why we've added them, to bolster us and make us better than last season. So we're still sort of learning, in terms of where we think they can fit in, and some have started well, some may need a bit more time. So from that aspect, we'll still keep looking and maybe still keep adding, and where we feel we can progress, because it's still early days. Don't get me wrong, where the table can look, but you put a run together and you just don't know what can happen. So big game Tuesday, because a lot depending on how we did today, in terms of reflecting on Tuesday. Now Tuesday's a must win, no questions asked, and then we go into the Forest Hill game, which will be another game. I reckon will be similar to this, where we need to try and get something really, because again, we don't want to give away points against teams we expect to be in and around it. So it's a reflection time. And as I said to the players, we've got to start winning these games or getting results in these games. Otherwise, we're just going to be in and around sort of like the 6th, 5th position, like we were last season, just trying to scrape into the playoffs, where we want to be in there comfortably and winning these games. So we've got confidence when we do play these teams. We know we've got a good record on, because it can become a mental block. Do you understand? If you don't win these big ones, you go into this game with a bit of apprehension, a bit of tentativeness, and you want to come into this game with a bit of confidence, knowing that you've got the quality and ability to win them. So we need to start. As I said, I've relayed everything I say to you guys, I say to the players. So and they're there for the challenge. So it's up to us, to find different ways and means to really sort of like make sure we get better results.
Second half comeback gave us something to build on, a bit of momentum going in. I mean, it sort of in the end they kind of feel like 3 consolations. There was a sending off which was contentious. It was
closer than ours.
I mean, it was low and it wasn't studs up. I thought it was probably a booking, but I think maybe the referee thinks he's launched himself at it. I think that's probably the only thing. But there is, I mean, obviously the second half it didn't result in points, but there is a bit of momentum going into Tuesday. Have we got players back? People have been asking in particular about Eman, who wasn't there today.
Yeah, Eman, I think he had a cup game yesterday as well, FA Cup game. So again, it's a lot of football for him as well.
And obviously Bailey as well.
I believe so. Again, Bailey was away today, so I believe it's Tuesday. I think Adam's back.
Okay, he was suspended today. Yeah.
So I think we've got a stronger squad from what I've seen, available on Tuesday. But again, you want to go in there with a good performance, because you want it to be a confidence builder to go into Saturday, because Saturday's another big one. We're expecting another sort of big crowd, away to Forest Hill. So so we will shuffle the pack again. Obviously, some players we've got to assess their fitness levels. Can some do 2 days? Games in 3 days. You understand? So we've got to assess it from that aspect, and that's why we wanted a bigger squad. But like you say, second half performance, the players coming in like Tammy, Sully, Cam, they'll feel much better. Feel they can maybe potentially even start next game, or be in contention. And that's what it was. I said to them at halftime, all you can do is go out, put a performance in, win the second half, get the first goal, and see where it comes to. And like I say, we nearly got in. A couple of times where we just got near the edge of the box again, a little bit of cuteness, because once Noah started going, they couldn't handle him. And I'm telling it, just keep giving it to him. Really, that's the ruthlessness I'm trying to get into the team. When we see a weakness in opposition, exploit it, because they do it against us. If they see anything, they will continuously play that ball, and that's what the good teams do. And we need to get that into our repertoire. To start being real ruthless and killing games. Because often we don't really do that. Obviously, I think Fred's available maybe Tuesday as well. So again, we're talking about players missing who probably would have been involved today. So look, it's a respectable score for it, because as you say, at half time who knows, it could turn to 5-6, and all of a sudden you're taking a spanking away from home. So 4-3, it's something to build on. And like I say, if we win Tuesday, you take that momentum into Saturday, because we need to go there with a bit of confidence.
Great. Okay. Thanks very much.
Thanks again for obviously the support. Much appreciated.
Yeah, it was a big crowd.
We heard you. Yeah, especially when the comeback was on. We appreciate it as always. There's a long way to go with all the delays and the Blackwell Tunnel again closed. But yeah, we always appreciate it. We're happy to sort of like give you something to take away from the second half. So thanks again, and hopefully see you there on Tuesday.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.